So it's
All right.
now
Here we
broadcasting.
are. Come on. We got, oh goodness. I hope our viewers hang around for us and they came back for
Good.
us. Come in for us. Yes.
Ooh, we
Thank y'all. Come back. Let us know that you're here. Let us know that you're here. I wish they would have blocked January the 6th that they did this, but let me be careful. All right. Welcome. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming back in. Thank you. Hello. And hello. Hello, thank you all. It's our second year anniversary. Come on, thank y'all for hanging in there with us for these last 2 years. We are in our third April, and we're so excited. Bradford and Wallace, Bradford, how y'all doing? How are you all doing?
wait a
I'm doing wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
one of the I don't know if any of you watch do some of the TikTok videos. There is one lady, she has this beautiful voice and she just belts out this huge, wait a minute, oh no.
She got a voice like mine. Go ahead.
Hello, are we still here? Are we still on? Are we still are we still on? Yeah, but she belts out this huge oh no, wait a minute, oh no, and then she goes and wait a minute, and I'm saying that wait a minute, it is our anniversary. Anniversary. Congratulations, ladies, we made it another April.
Thanks be to God.
Yes, we did. And my sisters, wow. Okay, so since the last time we came, a whole lot has happened. And so I have this clip. You all, audience, let us know, that you are here. We are so grateful for you all, but we cannot start this timely wisdom without talking about what has happened. So you all hang in there with us.
Democrats stood up. They got into a long, extended standing ovation that is rarely seen in the Senate. You do see that in the House, where the Senate is a different chamber. You rarely see expressions of emotion like that break out in the Senate. But where we saw that was on the Democratic side of the aisle. Democrats were stood up and were cheering. Republicans were mostly gone, with the exception of Mitt Romney, one of the 3 Republicans who voted to confirm Judge Jackson. He was standing in the back by the Congressional Black Caucus, the House Democratic members who were witnessing this moment of history. He was cheering as well.
She got 3 Republicans. And one thing I noticed, as you did too, Victor, was that Republicans, by and large, could not leave that chamber quickly enough. And I think it was rude. And I think it was rude that Rand Paul was late. Maybe he had a late flight, so we'll give him that excuse. But I mean, the fact, and Ali Zaslov and our Hill team is reporting that Lindsey Graham wasn't wearing the required tie, so we had to vote from outside the chamber in the cloakroom. Okay, but this is a moment in history, and you ought to show up, whether you agree with the outcome or not. You need to pay this woman the respect that she is due. And you need to do that for any Supreme Court nominee. And let me just add here that she is very popular in the country. This is not somebody with a 20% rating. People saw how graceful she was under pressure, and they decided they liked her when she was accused of horrendous things. And they decided, you know what? She can be a Supreme Court justice. And so I think the public was against those people who decided they couldn't stay in that chamber. And this.
So, ladies, what about that? First, congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, congratulations.
I want to address this, Mr. Lindsey Graham. First and foremost, that was very cowardly. Second of all, what does it say about him knowing the protocol, knowing that there was a certain attire that must be had, and you purposely wore the wrong tie so that you didn't have to come in the chambers at all. You're weak, you're shiftless, you're a mossback hypocrite, and you got no backbone. All that.
Okay, but before I hear from my other sisters, I'm from the country, but what is a mossback? What?
Mossback hypocrite. All of that. You got no spine, sir. No spine. And just take it a step further. Let me just say my kudos go to Mitch Romney, because I kind of felt some kind of way about him at one point. But I must say, thank you, sir. Thank you for being man enough to stand up to that group, number one. Number two, thank you for being man enough to stay in there, clap your hands, and celebrate with us.
Not just clap your hands, stand and do it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So I won't say the words, of course, but that's what you call class versus.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you don't need to make a spectacle. You get more done in silence than you do with making a public spectacle about yourself. But Lindsey Graham,
I can't go along with him for the mere fact of the last two justices that they swore in that do not have any of the credentials as in trying being an attorney to actually prosecute people. It's baffling to me how we look at, and when, how far we can go to the opposite end when it comes to someone of color that is very much qualified, and even to the point of not standing, not staying, and asking the most ridiculous questions you ever want to hear.
Yeah, and for me, yes, all of that, my sisters, what you all are saying, and for me to have been sitting there watching this and the vote count come in, and to see them leave the room. Again, I was already pained by her confirmation process, but and here it is, that we look at it. We have white males on the court, then we got the black male, then we got a white woman, then we got an Asian woman, then we got another white woman. And so, they're always talking about black women being at, quote, the bottom of the totem pole in regard to everything. We work 4 times as hard to get 1/4 as much. But to see them walk out was like, wow. Just, some might say, it was Republican, Democrat, but for me as a black woman, it was like, okay, here we go again, that we have persons walking out on us when it is time for us to be celebrated, when it's time for us to be honored, and who's left in the room, and just all of that stuff. I needed a counseling session after that. Yeah.
You think about we shouldn't be surprised, but every time it happens, we still get surprised. We should be familiar and used to this behavior.
Immune to it, yes.
We should be immune to it, but yet and still, when it happens, it's like, did that just happen? We ask the question
exactly.
Again. We ask questions over and over and over again, but my goodness, time and time again, it has happened to us. So why do we continue to allow it to surprise us? Come on here. That's what is done. That's what they do. Let's keep it moving, as Judge Ketanji is doing.
Yeah.
Class upon classy. Yeah.
Well, never leave us without the aha moment.
Yeah, I mean,
and I was shocked that Cruz was there. I thought he'd be in Mexico on vacation.
Exactly.
No,
so
if the camera hadn't hit him, he would have still been standing there. But he saw that the camera, he was like, that wasn't going to be good for his Twitter base. But you all talked about her and her class. Come on, let's listen to this.
To be sure, I have worked hard to get to this point in my career, and I have now achieved something far beyond anything my grandparents could have possibly ever imagined. But no one does this on their own. The path was cleared for me so that I might rise to this occasion. And in the poetic words of Dr. Maya Angelou, I do so now while bringing the gifts my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. So as I take on this new role, I strongly believe that this is a moment in which all Americans can take great pride. We have come a long way toward perfecting our union. In my family, it took just one generation to go from segregation to the Supreme Court of the United States. And it is an honor, the honor of a lifetime, for me to have this chance to join the court, to promote the rule of law at the highest level, and to do my part to carry our shared project of democracy and equal justice under law forward into the future. Thank you again, Mr. President and members of the Senate, for this incredible honor.
Wow.
This is the point where you stand up and holler, "That's my baby, yes!"
It almost brought tears to my eyes when she talked about the hope and dream of slaves. That she honored her grandparents, she honored her heritage, and she was not ashamed to say, "I am the daughter of slaves." And look at, if I can do this, how many more can do it as well? It brought tears to my eyes.
I was in tears.
I was in tears.
Just thinking about the struggle of our ancestors, and even the struggle now that our people are experiencing, and to see the reality of the dream manifest itself. It is amazing to see. So it doesn't matter who doesn't stand.
That's right.
It doesn't matter who stays in the room.
That's right.
We continue to
you better preach.
When we continue to push forward, sometimes I said this on Sunday, sometimes we have to go through certain things alone.
Yeah.
And of course, we all want to sit there with her.
Absolutely.
And take the brunt of what she had to experience. Of course, we wanted to be in the room when she had to interview or talk to 93 of the 95 people that she had to interview with. Of course, we wanted to be there, but we could not be there while she was being confirmed, or the questioning process. We couldn't be there. Her husband sat behind her, her daughter sat behind her, but they couldn't sit in the chair that she sat in. So sisters, my brothers and sisters, I tell you, even as I think about it now, my eyes well up with tears, because when we work together, there are still moments where we have to go through things alone. So thank God for the alone moments that we can still persevere and move forward.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you, Dr. Bradford, because
we
are the epitome of Black female love.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
tease each other, but we stand with one another. And we are giving the world a view that they may not have ever experienced. Yes, we have to do things alone, but I am grateful to be with you sisters in this moment.
Yeah. And same here. I am very grateful as well. Thank you, you all, for those words. It's just, I watched it and I was like, wow, in my lifetime, I got a chance to see Barack Obama.
Hallelujah.
I got a chance to see Kamala Harris.
Hallelujah.
Now I've had an opportunity to see Judge Jackson.
Yes.
And in my lifetime, right? And when I was listening to her speak, I could see myself back in high school and hearing, you know, the improbabilities of so much in my deep South Georgia small town high school, right? And to know that, wow, in my lifetime, I've gotten to see this plus more, right? Yeah, I cried through her whole speech. Just grateful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even cried at the vote, at the numbers.
Yeah.
3 Republicans, and they really thought that they had her. Just when you think you got me.
Look at God. Look at God.
Justice prevails. Oh, that blew me away. It did. Just seeing the numbers flash across the screen.
We all can celebrate. And like she says, it's not just for her, but it's for everybody in our nation that now, you know, it's remarkable. I'm almost at a loss of words to talk about how awesome this feeling is to see her rise to the classiness and to stand above. She really made Michelle Obama's words, when they go low, we go high. She really made those words come true in her speech.
Yeah. Just I watched I watched Ted Cruz. We're from Texas, and he gets and I'm looking at this man as he's asking these questions that I know he doesn't believe the questions he's asking.
Doesn't even know what he's asking, for that matter.
Yeah.
You're giving him too much credit.
Yeah, let's say that. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know that.
His claim to fame is that they went to law school together, but their paths never really crossed.
I imagine not. I bet they did.
Well,
she was busy
at the end of the
class. Wow. Okay, ladies, we've had a tremendous year, and we've had some awesome guests that have been a part of us this year. Let's kind of talk. What is it that we remember from some of our things? Y'all remember that?
Yeah, social justice is salvation.
Yes.
Well, I would say double dutching, right? Ministry and social justice. Wow. And we get right back to what we were talking about, though, again, right? That we look at that ministry and social justice. We got to keep going, because if not, I see myself going back down the rabbit hole with folk walking out the room and us having to rise up higher than others. But
Throw farther.
Just know some folk ain't gonna make it to heaven that think they're gonna be there.
Well, that's part of them 3 surprises. First surprise is that you made it. The second surprise is that everybody you thought was gonna make it didn't. The third surprise would be that everybody you thought should have made it didn't make it.
Oh, yeah.
We are blessed.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to think that injustice can keep on rolling like it is. That at some point I pray in my lifetime, I really get to see where people do some critical thinking about where they stand and why they stand where they stand.
But Dr. Bradford said something earlier when she said, when do we get it? When do we get it? When do we figure out it's the same tactics, it's the same motif, it's the same attitude? When people show you who they really are, believe them.
First time.
That which is on the side, my Bible, is what's going to
But again, we can. I think they're changing their tactics.
Oh,
I think their aim. I think their aim is the same. But I think when President Obama was elected, I can still hear Mitch McConnell. His whole purpose said was to make him a one-term president. Right. That was his whole purpose. We're just going to make him a one-term president. Well, he failed at that. And so what did they do? Then they decided to divide so they could conquer. And what we've seen over these years is are these states, these state rights, all of these things trying to be systemically put in place. And it is easy for us as Black women, we're getting back to Bill Lamar and, double dutching, right? Ministry and social justice. It's easy for us as Black women to hold up the banner and the calls for everyone else. But again, who holds up the banner and the calls for us, right?
Very few.
We'll fight for everybody. That's just who we are.
That's our heart.
But yet, the expectation is that then when it comes to us, just you're gonna get your turn, right? It's just yes.
Yes.
It's appalling when you have someone with the credentials of Judge Jackson. And before they said, well, you need to be experienced. You need to have the qualifications. Here you have someone that have exceeded all of those bars, and yet you still try to bring her down.
And Wallace, stay right there. With Dr. Lamar with us, what role does the church play in all of this stuff?
Wait. Huh?
Well, the real Church of Jesus Christ would say,
Oh Lord, who the real church?
To me
that
there is a God. That there is a God, even in the midst of oppression, even in the midst of adversity and tribulations and trials and sadness. There still is a God, and all that they try to do in trying not to confirm Dr. Jackson, all of that failed. It failed. So while it's hard to hold on,
but what role does the church play? And for me, that's Dr. Lamar and talking about ministry and social justice. What role does the church play in helping to hold up that status quo?
I think you have to bring awareness and making sure that we're on the front line rather than waiting for somebody to do something. Okay, what is it? Around the corner in the dark, waiting to see what someone else is going to do? No, stand in the front.
Y'all coming mouse back now around the corner.
The problem is,
and really be real in your convictions, because for too long, we've allowed the streets to parade rather than the church.
But Dr. Bradford, all of these so-called evangelicals who say they represent the Christ, they are, it's going to come to that time when the Lord says, everybody that says Lord, Lord ain't going to make it.
Wallace, hold on, Wallace.
Before that.
Yeah, right. But Wallace, perhaps yes to the evangelical. But my question is, what about the Black church?
The Black church.
What role has the Black church played in keeping women oppressed, not speaking for? What role have we oppressed?
Wait a minute.
In the life and the livelihood of women?
So you're saying, from what I hear you saying, is that we as a Black church are perpetuating the same behavior as a patriarchal evangelicals have been doing.
That's right. And guess what? Many of them are women.
We double dutching, but we double dutching to the wrong tune and with the wrong rope,
the wrong beat.
I agree with you. We are right there. Unfortunately, if it weren't for the women, we wouldn't have Black church. But it's a lot of times it is the Black women who bring us down more, or push or try to silence our voices more in the Black church.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. It's the church. But it's the sisters in the congregation that say, no, we don't want a woman pastor. No,
right. That's what you are saying. No. We don't want a woman bishop. We don't want women in charge. Okay.
So wait a minute. Hold on, my sisters.
Fight.
Hold on, my sisters. Are you all trying to suggest now? Because y'all sounding like Ted Cruz to me right now. Y'all trying to. I'm asking the question about the Black church and oppression of women, and now you all are saying that women are the cause for their oppression.
A lot of times, we have to face it. We got. Everybody is not like the four of us on this broadcast.
Okay, but hold on. Let me ask you this, because we got to the other guests we had on the show as well. So let me ask you this. How are you then going to blame someone who is not in power for oppressing others who are also not in power?
Oh, really? Oh, so that's a rhetorical question, I see. So that doesn't even need answering. So because you've already answered your question, so thank you. Go on to the next.
For real. For real.
A rhetorical question.
We could say that if the Black church was not made up of 75 to 80% women.
Wait a minute.
No. Hold up. We got to go to our next set of guests we had. But that's like blaming the slave for being in bondage.
I'm not blaming them. I'm just asking them to open their minds to something different.
The plantation, they had 400 slaves, and they're 10 white folk. So now it's the slaves' fault? Come on,
but we gotta be realistic.
The struggle is real.
So we're sitting on the porch and we're talking to each other. And we're sitting on the porch as we should be, sharing our wisdom with the younger women, right? This is Renita Weems, and she talked about, when are we gonna sit together? Baby, go get me some tea and let's talk. Are we really having real conversations with each other? Are we really learning from each other, or are we just bashing? Let me just put that out there.
I think we need to bring things to awareness, and people don't change until they are made aware. And for so long, we have just gone along to get along. And we've got to bring awareness to what is really happening. I'm not saying the slave is responsible for being in slavery, but I am saying, from my own personal experience, from where
what are you doing?
That's the world's smallest violin playing for Wallace.
I'm just, we've got to own it, and we've got to empower women to voice their true feelings.
I agree to disagree, but I agree that there is another. There has to be a different form for it. But much of what you're saying is redundant because it's been said. It's the awareness, the teaching, but how does that all come together? How do we as a church put that together and stop with the crawdad nature, fighting each other and fighting this person and fighting that person and getting to a place to where we can rightly divide the word, join hands, not just sing kumbaya, but lift every voice and sing.
Every.
At this point, yes, those things are happening, but how does the church effect and become that tool or mechanism to make the change? And here's the other thing. Here, be consistent with it. We start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. Stick with your stick. Whatever God has called you to do,
Pastor Simpson.
Stick with your stick. And if the choir's doing well over here, don't go and try to out-sing the choir with that old bashed up song from 49 years ago. Let the choir sing the song.
Are you trying to tell me not to sing? But go ahead. I'm not going to feel offended today. But go ahead. I'm gonna go find my stick.
We're not gonna do you. But how do we perfect that? Or even if we don't perfect it, how do we get it on the right track? And then stay on the right track. Don't do it for a week and then next week we jump into something else. I think a lot of the problem is everybody wants to mimic or monitor or do what somebody else is doing. What has God told you to do?
Be you.
Come on now and be the best you that you can be.
The best you can be. Be you.
And support those that are different from you.
Yes, diversity is key. I mean,
Absolutely.
We learn from each other because we are different.
That's right.
It would be me.
That is absolutely right.
One of our comments.
All right. What about these three?
Huh?
All right.
Fragility.
Yes.
We have got to continue to resist white supremacy and white women's fragility. Call them out. We got to call them out.
So how do we call it out? Let's challenge that.
Well, look at our television commercials. You can hardly find a commercial without seeing a black man and a white woman with the children. It's like it's a push to bring this together. And until we understand what God has designed for us and who we're supposed to be, most of the commercials now are biracial commercials. If not biracial commercials, then they have
yeah. You know what? Hold on a second. Y'all being real super spiritual. Natasha Robinson, attorney, I agree with you. We probably should have done our anniversary in a Zoom call so we could have just had everyone join us. Because today all of a sudden everybody's super spiritual right now. When we talk,
it's not about being super spiritual. That's not the case. It's about.
I'm hold on a second. Let me make it now. I'm the Bible toting, all throwing, water baptizing one out of this group. Let me just put now. Go ahead. Y'all go ahead.
Well, I don't belong to St. Matthew's Cathedral.
Help us, Lord. So, Wallace, how do we do?
Help us, Dr. Wallace.
I mean, I'm just going to reiterate what I've said before. We have got to recognize and build each other up rather than tearing each other down. And I even though the on a lot, we never ever say that we're not going to come back to the show. We constantly stay in the fight. We stay together because we love each other. And until we do that on every level, accepting people for who they are on every level? We are
but Wallace,
in this conversation.
Wallace, how is someone going to accept someone else when everything in society has not shown them how to accept themselves?
And that's
so
the work.
I mean,
that is the work.
How? And
that
so
is
again,
the work.
So again,
we show them. We're doing it right
church,
now. We're showing them. We're showing people how to do it.
Back to that question. What role does
I'm back to the question. What role does right? Because
mental health therapy. Mental health therapy. The church should have a therapeutic strand to their ministry.
Okay, so what if
they got therapy? They got oil and they got prayer. That's their therapy. Okay. I'm really
right. Y'all hear this?
You need more. You need more than Jesus oil and
the prayer. Sarcasm right now is overwhelming.
I'm serious. I told you all. I think I said at the top of the show that I realized that after I watched those confirmation hearings, I needed counseling, right? Because all of the places have been bruised in the church, right? But continue to have to, keep, smile, keep the grace. Why? Do this, and there are things that I know. I'm not a cusser by nature. Okay. But if I were, it's that I've seen my brothers.
Just call me and ask me to say the words for you. I can say the words.
So I've seen my brothers, they will cuss members slap out.
Yes.
And then, and after they finish, folks will run to me and Pastor said. Let a woman do that in the Black church. Those are the things. And so to have seen that with Judge Jackson, right? All of that stuff, it was like, wow, look at this. This woman is qualified. This woman is educated. This woman, has the work, expertise. Right. And so again, in regard to the church, you correct. The church is full of Black women. But if there's no place from Sunday school all the way throughout, from who's the lead in the church, to say to a Black woman, you're intelligent. What they say on it, you is kind. You is, I mean,
I got my one better for you. Oh, you dress so nice.
But you know what? Here's what I think is part of that. We talk about that. We have to show love, and we have to do this. And I agree. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when Jesus found out that them fools was up in the temple and they were selling stuff and rolling dice and collecting their money and everything else, he didn't walk in there and say, "Could you please just not do that in here?"
I believe there were some cuss words. I believe that there were some real cuss words along with whipping them and tearing over those tables.
Well,
you can't just turn over.
Oh my God! Let me grab my pearls. Are you trying to?
You can. Yes, I'm saying that. I am saying that Jesus knew how to get angry, and you can't imagine. Can you imagine somebody turning over tables and saying, "Turn over, y'all get out. Y'all better get that H up out of here, out of my house." That's what Jesus was saying.
I think he said hot ham and cheese.
Y'all, oh my God, Jesus, don't.
The humanity of Jesus, along with the divinity, told them folks to get the H up out of my house.
No, Lord have mercy, Lord Jesus. Oh, Jesus, be offense, Lord. Be offense. As a matter of fact, I got 2 Bibles.
It says, y'all do remember that when he told the Pharisees, where'd he go? It said when Jesus called the Pharisees whitewashed tombs full of dead men's bones, those was cuss words in that day.
I believe it.
Next 3, please.
Candy, when is Communion Sunday? I'm gonna mail you some communion. I need you.
It'll be
No,
Easter
it
Sunday.
says as often as you do this. So you have
Look at Sister Casey. Peter cussed and cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, y'all. What about legalese, please, and spirituality and womanist worship? Oh,
yeah.
Come on.
Oh.
See, that's celebrating Black women right there, because that womanist worship says I'm gonna include everybody.
That's womanism.
That's right.
That is correct. But y'all in the pews ain't womanist.
Oh. Wait, really?
I don't know about that.
Y'all, the folk in the pews are womanist?
There are some. That may not be all, but there are some.
Okay, some. Okay, there's some.
How many grandmothers made sure? How many grandmothers made sure that when somebody next door to them didn't have a cup of sugar, gave them a cup of sugar? That's womanist right there.
Okay. Again,
Gail Mac Mason says a few. A few. That ain't never been. Yep, this is true.
Ooh.
Yo,
oh wow,
you're lighting up.
Ooh, I need to know where does Sister Casey go to church? Y'all need to call me to come over there.
Yeah. Oh, she's in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Texas.
Wait a minute, you all. We're talking about legalese, please. Attorney. Oh wow. So Wallace, you
know something in the chat.
But Casey says she's not the pastor. She wants you to know. She want to do a disclaimer.
Thank you, Attorney Robinson, for being real. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, she over there at Trinity in Chicago. So yeah, she know what's going on.
She knows what time it is. Look, Attorney Robinson, she is bilingual.
Yeah, that's it. I am too, Attorney. That's why we love each other. Yes, I am too. Some folk not bilingual. I got plenty of them.
Well, Valerie Bell says she believes Jesus used some of them chosen words.
I do too. I do too.
What? Well, Wallace, you just
next three.
Bless your heart.
Oh, bless my heart.
Mind and soul.
All right now.
Your call, discerning.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Leading from the second chair. Yes.
Leading from the second chair offers a different skill set. Not trying to be more than the leader, just being in the space that God has given that particular person. That takes a grace that most people don't have. And it's a blessing, Dr. Jewel.
That's why your Sarah Bishop Lewis said you got to know what you're called for.
What are you called to do?
You got to know your calling and walk in your calling and not someone else.
Yes, but you got to know it first.
Yes.
And if you don't know it, then you're going to be walking in everybody else's lane, running in everybody else's lane. Have you ever seen track stars? And you're running track and you have a particular area in which you are to run. But then when you begin to run in another lane, you begin to hurt everybody in that's running in that race. Stay in your lane. Yeah, that was good, Wallace. That's good.
The young man said, until the pastors get on one accord, there won't be any change in the church.
What does that actually?
So Wallace, so what? Go ahead, Bradford, because
they still going on.
No, the question was until the comment until the pastors
on one accord with whom?
Yeah, what does that actually look like? Because
with one another.
I don't know. That's a bit ambiguous. I'm not sure. what that means.
Yeah, I would like for Frazier to say more, to expand a little bit more on that comment.
And Casey is saying, if your pastor lets you.
Amen to the congregation.
Casey, you coming in here.
Out of Texas.
Woo, goodness gracious. All right.
But looking at this, we're talking about role of women and others, but with here we have Attorney Robinson, who talked about the role that the church needs to play on the legal side of it, and then Bishop Lewis of saying, got to know your call in this. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it all makes good sense. But what's what's keeping it from being connected?
Misnomers.
I want to turn that back to you, Dr. Burns. What do you think?
Well, I need to ask you about your womanist in the pew.
I really think there are women in the pew that understand how to walk with another woman and how to be loyal, how to be loving, how to allow someone else to shine and you not throw water on that. I think there are women in the pews like that.
I don't disagree with you, but my experience has been that there are more women in the pews, though, that are not like that.
That's what I said earlier, and you didn't want to agree with that. Yeah, you said that's the slave causing the responsible for being in slavery.
No, I was asking you on that. No, I didn't disagree. I heard you saying that it becomes the responsibility of the one. And my question to you was, how then are you going to blame the oppressed one for their own oppression when they have not seen a different model? That's my question, and it still remains the question.
That goes back to the consistency. We lead by precept and example. What are we showing other people? We have to, as we lead, we have to live what we lead.
But I think we all have a responsibility. All of us have a responsibility for making sure that we are supporting each other. That's our responsibility.
Did you get that comment? Please make your comment. Attorney Robinson, my God, today. Also, being a womanist is not assigned to a particular gender identity. You can be a man and be a womanist.
That's true.
You can be a woman and be a
true. Hey, I know some white men that are womanists. I that's true.
Wow. Let's see. You can go to the next 30.
Yeah, the examples are there. And sometimes we've been oppressed for so long, that's all we know. And until, by precept and example that Dr. Wright says, until we show them a different model, they don't know. That's why I'm so grateful for this broadcast. We show people a different model. And by showing a different model, hopefully, it will catch on. Maybe not everybody, but there's going to be a remnant that catches on, and this fire is going to grow to show that we can support women. We can support women pastors. We can support women in leadership. We can support women judges. We can support women vice presidents and even women presidents. We can do that because we are showing them a different example.
Absolutely.
What was it?
All right.
Pastor Simpson said, yes, you can walk in your giftings if your leader walks with you.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. If you walk in your gifting, you can walk in your gifting.
When morning comes, my God, today, ministry reimagined.
Woo.
When morning
that's what we were just talking about, ministry reimagined.
Yeah, that's
yeah. And ministry remains, but when morning comes, I do want to speak to Dr. Johnson's her transparency with us as a first lady and now as a pastor, and what she endured.
Absolutely.
And again, she speaks to what we're talking about now, that quote, when she was first lady, there was this support. But the very persons who supported her, then as she's transitioning to the role of a pastorate, but the inner workings and attacks that happen and occurs. But the pain of the church,
it is.
Again, and I think that's perhaps what causes church hurt to be so deep, because on one end we're saying it's the place for the wounded, but then when the wounded come,
what happens? Are we embracing them or throwing them away?
Well,
we pull out some knives and figure out how we can make. We said that hole right there ain't big enough. We need to make that hole, that wound you got, a little bit wider. Somebody
pour salt on it.
Well, like you used to always say, that God's army is the only army that kills its own wounded.
That's deep there.
It really is. We talk about restoration, but where is the restoration?
Oh, Anita Williams, that was good.
Never question. And we have people in leadership that really should not be in leadership.
Oh, you're gonna help somebody.
And I really don't know how, because people have this thought about themselves that they should be in leadership. But I think there's some denominations that require some mental health assessments before they can become ministers or pastors. And I think that's how we are going to, we will begin to weed out some of the people that really don't need to be in leadership.
And it has to go further than that. It needs to be some integrity. It needs to be some. It needs to be it's got to be more than just mental health assessment. Your life.
What I'm saying, though, Dr. Wright, is that that's a start. That is the place we start to weed out persons who want to be in leadership but have not gotten the help to help themselves first. That's the place to start.
Okay.
Until we start looking at
Wallace,
the problem is mental. All of us have some mental illness.
Wallace,
and we
believe you.
Wallace, answer this question. That's up.
What happens when you get wounded after assessment?
I think when morning comes, our guest, Dr. Johnson, it is not a one-time thing. It's a constant reassessment. And it's a constant changing. It's a constant learning and growing. We don't stop after one assessment. Let me just be vulnerable. The little girl in me that has been wounded from childhood, I can't just get therapy one time. It's been 40, 50 years that I've had therapy. And the little girl in me that shows up, that's wounded sometimes. So I have to recognize, I need to talk to my therapist about this. This little girl done rose up in me again. It's not a one-time thing. You got to keep going. It's a constant.
That's good. Wow.
To be healthy is work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. She said after assessment. My God, today.
From fear to finish.
Yeah.
In my right mind.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about right there. And to stay in your right mind, you sure got to go constantly to therapy.
Yeah, working on me.
It's working on me all the time. All the time.
Yes.
Because if we work on ourselves, we ain't got time to be working on nobody else.
Preach, girl.
Valerie Bell said, my husband is in his mid-70s and Pastor Burns is the first pastor he ever set up under. And it was not an easy task for him, but God.
But God.
The Lord.
You know, the anointing.
That's the example. You got to show somebody something different. If we keep doing the same old thing, we ain't going to get nothing but the same old thing. We got to show people something different.
Even if they don't eat it, you still have to show.
You still got to show them.
Yeah.
Wow.
The plate is
it may take some time, and change requires time. It doesn't happen overnight.
Bit by bit.
LaFay Neesmith says, thank you. Mental health status changes with each life experience. I am not the same woman I was when I had my first therapy experience at 30.
Say that. Say hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Yes.
Y'all gonna have me speaking in tongues. That's good. That's real good.
Women in politics.
Oh yes. We can ride.
Walking in my own shoes.
Yeah.
In the old what? Women in social justice.
That's it.
Let's see. We were blessed to have Dr. Danielle Brown on before she was actually installed.
Yes.
And walking in her own shoes. And we're talking about paradigm and paradigm shift at the Baptist church, first woman pastor in that area in the Baptist church. And so we talk about those kind of shifts that they have to take place. But this is the other part of it taking place, is that the amount of pressure that then is placed on Black women when they are given those opportunities. Because now, whether you succeed or whether you fail, it now becomes the measuring stick
for every woman that follows.
For every woman that follows. Yes. Yeah.
And
so
I mean,
like that.
from what I've heard, I wasn't there, but what I've heard, she was very much disrespected even in her installation by and to have to sit under that, and still show your class like Judge Jackson. She still remained classy. So we all need people to hold Aaron's and Ben-Hur's to hold up our arms.
Absolutely. Tracy Blackman was fully transparent in her walk and how she had a church full of people, and if she had turned her back on that one funeral,
my God,
one person said no, she wouldn't have had a church full of people.
My God.
And it's the ones that that tend to sometimes are the outcasts. Those are the people that Jesus came for.
Listen, downtrodden.
Those are, and so we until we
you say that while I can hear Dr. Kelly Farrell going, my Black Jesus.
My Black Jesus. That's right. My Black Jesus came for the least of these. My Black Jesus came for the downtrodden. Yeah, that's my Black Jesus. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You'll see tonight how I did my very best to show people what folk kind of look like in Palestine. They didn't have long pointed noses. They had melanin in their skin.
Yeah. Ladies, we have had an absolutely phenomenal year. I know some of our previous guests are in the chat, and we're so grateful for you all. The guests are coming to be a part. Our viewing audience, y'all have hung in with us from when we just decided we wanted to have a different kind of paradigm when the pandemic started in April of 20. And we just say thank you.
Thank you.
To you all.
From the bottom
for
of our
helping
heart.
us.
Thank you so much. We love you.
Yeah, we love you. And just thank you. And yeah, we are grateful. And we hope that our being before you on this weekly basis is something that encourages, that uplifts, and helps you to see a different paradigm. That is Black
and
women.
Challenges.
We do like each other as Black women.
No.
Yeah.
We love each other. Ain't no liking this.
Right. No. I was going to get to love, but there are a lot of folk we love, but we don't like. We like and we love each other, right? And so there's some folk you love, you don't like. We like and love each other.
That's
and
right.
And God has knitted our bond even tighter. And we hope that for each of you that's part of our audience, that you too, that you're able to find a sisterhood, that you're able to find connection and relationship and family that love and like you.
Yes.
So that, because I believe that together we are stronger when we do it together. So thank you, our previous guests, for having been with us. Thank you, our viewing audience, for hanging in there with us. And on next week, we have our guest will be
the Reverend Doctor. I call her Reverend Doctor Gina Stewart, Gina M. Stewart. Come on in the room.
This woman
changer. Did you hear what I said? A global changer. Come on in the room next week. Same time, same place. Love you.
Love you.
Bye-bye.